Fairy Tales is a pair of one-act musicals tied together by a little framing story that we've invented.
As eggs are like each other, are like each other, or once are like...
Goblin Market is about two sisters who encounter magical goblins who tempt them with luscious fruit. And I've been wanting to do this show for years. The score is gorgeous, and there's lots of room for movement-based storytelling, which is a favorite of mine. Goblin Market is really short for a musical. It runs just over an hour, and when I was first looking at it, I was looking for ways to make it more of a full evening of entertainment. And I'd been working with David and Silvia on some unrelated short musical works, and we were really successful with these pieces. So I thought this would be a good chance to work with them to build a companion piece for Goblin Market.
Jesse approached me and Silvia to create a piece that would be complementary to Goblin Market, and I knew a bit about Goblin Market. Coincidentally, Polly Penn, the woman who wrote the music for Goblin Market, happens to have been 3 years ahead of me in my high school. So I knew her when I was little, and so I was excited to write a piece that would complement her piece.
Him a daughter with eyes dark as water, the sun.
We also read a lot of fairy tales, and one of my favorites has always been one called The Goose Girl at the Spring. I read it as a child as a Classics Illustrated version. One of the things that I strongly felt was that the setting should be modern and mundane to contrast as much as possible with the Victorian, classically fairy setting of Goblin Market. So we came up with this idea of setting it in a convenience store with, is kind of the most mundane possible modern place that you can get.
He didn't like the answer, so he stood her before the assembled court and took her thus.
As we did some improvisation with the cast and through a lot of discussion between me and Silvia and Jesse, we came up with this idea of very subtle linkages between the two pieces. The idea of a blanket or a quilt that appears in both pieces. It appears silently in Goblin Market, and then it's actually it's almost the point in the ragdoll.
One called her proud, cross-grained, uncivil. Their tones waxed loud, their looks were evil. Come, take a seat with us.
We recognize that Fairy Tales is a very ambitious project. Blue Spruce Theatre has a tendency to push the edge of the envelope as to what you can do when performing in a black box, and this show is really no different. It costs thousands of dollars just to rent a performance space, pay for insurance, that sort of thing, and ticket sales really only cover about a third of our production costs. So we're asking for some help from you so we can continue making the art that you've come to expect and continue supporting local artists and new work. Most importantly, we hope you can come see the show and see what we're doing, because we're really proud of it and we want to share it with you. So thank you very much for listening.
Fades away.